Hello and welcome to the 7th in our series of videos looking at the Core 1 2015 paper. Next question is this one. It's a little bit different perhaps from the other ones we've seen, and it does require a little bit of thought to get part A done. Once you've got part A, it's not too bad after that. So they've told us that y is equal to 2 to the power of x, and we need to figure out what 4 to the power of x would be in terms of y. So it's really just changing the base, but it needs a bit of thought just to get through that part. So we've got 4 to the power of x, and we want it to be in terms of 2. So we could write that as 2 squared to the power of x, just by changing the 4 to 2 squared. And then if you remember your log rules, where we got it index rules, where we got this to the power of x, we can just multiply the powers. So that would give us 2 power of 2x, like that. And that's still not quite what we want. We want to kind of see what it is in terms of y. So we can do something a bit weird here, where kind of like the opposite of what we've done here. I can make this into 2 to the power of x squared. So we've kind of swapped the 2 and the x around like this. And that's still the same as 4x, but it's a bit easier to see now that that is the same as y squared, because you've just squared the 2 to the power of x. So now we know that 4x is 2 squared, we can move on to part B. So this bit's just 4 to the power of x. So part B, hence or otherwise, which always means hence, solve this equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute in what we know now. So we know that 4 to the power of x is y squared. So that's going to make it 8y squared and minus 9y plus 1 equals 0. And now we've got to think, does it factorise? Well, I think it will. So let's try doing 8y and y. Two numbers that times to make 1, well, they're bound to, and they've got to make plus 1 as well, and a negative here, so we know it's going to be minus 1 and 1. And we've just got to think, does that make minus 9? And yes, it does, because 8y times minus 1 is minus 8, and then minus another 1 will give us minus 9, so this would work. If you're not sure, you can expand it out and check that it does indeed make that. So that gives us our solutions. Either 8y minus 1 equals 0, so y equals minus an eighth, or y minus 1 equals 0, so y equals 1. And a lot of students tend to stop here and think, well, I've got a value for y, it must be finished. We need to solve this though, which has x in it, and not y, so we need to change this back. And if you remember, y is 2x, so that means 2 to the power of x equals an eighth, or 2 to the power of x equals 1. Let's do the easier side first. If 2 to the power of something equals 1, that something must be 0. And this one's a little bit harder to think of. We're going to need it to be a negative to make it 1 over, and then we need it to be cubed to make a 8. So that means it's going to be x to the minus 3. Because that will do 1 over the 2, and then cube it. 2 cubed is 8. So that is our two answers for question 7.